Welcome back to the channel. My name is Emory. This channel is dedicated to helping you get better at backpacking. So if you're into that kind of thing, stick around, subscribe. If not, check back with the channel every so often for new videos. I'm just here to help you guys get better and improve your backpacking skills. And today, I just want to talk about 3 messages, suggestions on what you may want to send from your GPS tracker. This would be like an emergency beacon, like the Spot device. Actually, I have it right here. Spot device. For anything that I've mentioned in this video, specifically this guy, maybe the backpacking course, the beginner backpacking course, the podcast, my website, there are links in the description of this video to check those out. So be sure to do that. So this is the Spot device. I carried this in 2017. Wow, it's a long time ago. Time is flying by. I carried this puppy all the way up to PCT, and it was really awesome. This was the first experience I had with a GPS tracker, and my now wife purchased it for me so that we could kind of stay in touch. But the thing is about this one is that it's kind of passive. So there's no two-way communication. I would just push one of these buttons. I would start the tracking, I would hit the power button, start the tracking, and then there's an SOS button, there's an OK button here, and a message button. And I think there's this little handshake one. Either way, there's a couple messages that you can send out that are pre-programmed. So you go into the software online and you pre-program these messages to send out. But it's kind of hard to figure out what you want to send your significant other or whoever's going to be on the receiving end of this tracker. So today's video, I thought I would give you 3 suggestions on what to send out. These are the messages that I use to send my wife notes along the way, and I thought they worked out pretty well. So here we go. Here's what I had. First off, I had a message that said that I was done for the day. This was actually kind of a goofy message. I think it was something like, no bears ate me today, I'm done for the day. So just to kind of keep that sort of positivity going and to let her know that, hey, I'm done hiking for the day. Don't expect my tracker to move, because the way we had it kind of sorted out was she would be watching the tracker while she's at work, not actually watching it, but she would check in. And if I stopped moving and I hadn't hit the SOS, then there might be cause for concern. So stop hiking, I'm in camp for a while, send the message, turn this thing off, and she knows right away that I'm okay, I'm just done for the day, and all is well. So in the morning, I would turn it back on, start the tracking, and we'd do this whole thing over again. The other message that I would send, so there is an SOS button on here that is the red button, and it's like the no kidding, I need some help right now, send help right away. You don't want to push that until you're absolutely in a predicament. So I programmed this guy right here. This is kind of like a handshake button, and this was a send help, everything's okay, but I really could use some assistance. So let's say a situation like that would be, I twisted my ankle, I'm down, or hey, I may have broken a bone, or I fell and I'm sick, or something like that. Something to where like death is not imminent or anything like that, but I definitely could use some help. That was kind of this under this little hatch button that I sent. Obviously, I never actually pushed that button, but it was there just in case, and I really liked having it. The last button, and this was like, you can see there's a little message icon right there. And this was just an I love you message. It was a way for me to just kind of push that button, let her know that I was thinking about her. Because while you're on like a 5-month journey, or let's say you're not even on a 5-month journey, you're just out backpacking and you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whoever is not with you at the time but cares about you, they kind of want to know that you're thinking about them. So I thought it would be really nice to kind of send that button. Again, the done for the day, didn't get eaten by bears button. That was kind of like jovial. This one was a very sincere, like, hey, I'm thinking of you, I love you. Boom, it's out into the world and on her phone. And that seemed to work really well. Now, I like this Spot device. It was very good. Battery life was awesome. But the problem is this version, they make other versions, but this version is only one-way communication, meaning that I can send these predetermined messages out. My wife can't send me anything in return. Now, Spot does have a device where it's two-way. I didn't have that one. I just tossed this on my backpack and called it good. And I thought that was okay. This is my first GPS tracker, but I've since moved over to the Garmin InReach Mini, and that is a two-way messaging. So I can message on my phone and it goes through the device and it works really, really well. And I thought this was awesome until I used the Mini, or at least a two-way version. And the two-way version is so much better because you can actually have a discussion. She can reach you or he can reach you. Someone can reach you, your family. Something happened to your kids, something happened to your grandparents or your parents or your wife, whoever, or maybe the Kardashians did a thing. I don't know. Whatever's important, someone can reach you and tell you what's going on, and you can kind of have that peace of mind knowing that you're not out there alone, and it actually does make you feel a little bit better. My suggestion would be to go to like an InReach Mini, or like the two-way version of this, or whatever other device is out there. I'll list a couple below because now there's actually a couple versions. That is really awesome. I love it. And the Spot device, believe it or not, like this one specifically, worked really, really well until it didn't. When you turn this thing on, there's a power button, there's a GPS button, and there is a scent button. When I say button, I mean a light. It's right up at the top. That's how you know that you have power, you have a GPS, and you sent out. When I was in Northern Washington at PCT, had this puppy on, and everything was fine. It said I had GPS, power, and I was sending messages out. I'm done at night, love you, tracking's on, blah, 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 blah. For 3 days, that was happening, 2.5 days, going through this section. Pop out on the other side, didn't have cell service, and my wife was basically about to call the authorities because my GPS tracker had not moved for like 2 days. That was the only time that I had problems with this. Freaked her out. Obviously, that's not cool. She thought that I was dead or hurt, which is why you have this tracker in the first place. Now, could have been because the mountains are super rugged and it wasn't getting through, but I did have a lot of open, like I wasn't in the canopy all the time. It kind of gave me a sour taste in my mouth on the Spot device. So I switched to the Garmin InReach because it seems to be a little more reliable. Now I should probably go back to that same spot and see if it works, but I'm not going to. That's the only problem I had with this guy. It's a great device. It's fairly inexpensive and it does the job. And it's just nice to be able to send messages out and have someone track you and kind of that warm and fuzzy. So those are my thoughts on it. I should probably do a separate video on that, but anyhow. So that's it. 3 messages that I used on my Spot device to send to my wife while I was hiking the PCT. If you have suggestions on what you would send in 3 pre-programmed messages, put them down below so people have ideas, because it's kind of hard to figure out what you're going to put in these little message boxes to send out, knowing that you're not going to have access to the interface for maybe months at a time. So yeah, I thought it might be useful. And if it was, let me know in the comments below. If you have any suggestions on videos that I can help you out with or do, I would love to do that. Put them in the comments below. And be sure to check out the links to the backpacking course, the beginner backpacking course that has 60+ video tutorials detailing every step of the way, and the podcast and my website. So be sure to check those out. If you're headed out on an adventure anytime soon, be safe, make great decisions, and we'll see you next time.